And what is up, my magic miscreants? Risen Dragon here with yet another fun deck tech for you. Now, last night's build didn't go the way I really wanted it to. Yeah, we got a win in our first and our best of one matchup, but our best of three kind of stunk it up. So I'm going to try to make it up to you tonight with a Brokers deck. Now, Brokers is the new Bant, okay, which is your blue, white, and green. And there is actually, I think, a lot more synergy in this build than the one that we did last night with Cabaretti. And it involves runes. I've seen a lot of rune decks. We've done a rune deck. We did a, we did a Selesnya runes deck a while back. But now we're doing Bant runes. And this one has a little more punch to it than what we did with the Selesnya runes. And let me explain. The Ascendancy cycle is back. Okay, apparently the Ascendancy cycle was something that happened in an earlier set. I can't recall. But it's back with the Streets of New Capenna. And the big one is Broker's Ascendancy. At the beginning of your end step, put a +1/+1 counter on each creature you control and a loyalty counter on each planeswalker you control. Okay, pretty beast. Okay, so this card definitely comes into play. It is not the main cog because we're playing runes. Okay, everyone knows what a rune is. So let's get into the deck. Okay, first thing we do, Generous Visitor. Okay, without a doubt. Gotta have Generous Visitor. Okay, whenever you cast an enchantment spell, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature. Really great one drop. Okay, Rune of Sustenance gives us lifelink. These runes draw cards. Okay, also Rune of Flight. Well, that's pretty straightforward. It gains flying. Okay, Rune of Might, +1/+1 and trample. Okay, Kami of Transience. Whenever you cast an enchantment spell, put a +1/+1 counter on it. At the beginning of each end step, if an enchantment was put into a graveyard from the battlefield this turn, you may return it from your graveyard to your hand. So it's really hard to get rid of. You're going to have to exile this sucker, okay? Jukai Naturalist just cheats out the runes. All right, Runeforge Champion gets more runes. But here's where things get interesting, okay? Because runes alone aren't really going to defeat our enemy. Fight Rigging, okay? With all of the counters that go on the Kami or the Visitor, or even with the Rune of Might and all those things, okay, Fight Rigging makes sense in this deck. Okay, it makes more sense than it did in the deck last night. That's the last I'm mentioning the deck from last night. That stunk. Okay, but at the beginning of combat on your turn, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature you control. Then if you control a creature with power 7 or greater, you may play the exiled card without paying its cost. So a really great card to have. It also helps that we get Jugon Defends the Temple. Okay, it's a saga, and it turns into an enchantment creature. So when its first chapter is create a 1/1 human monk creature token with add a green mana, put a +1/+1 counter on each of up to 2 target creatures for the second part, and then the third is it comes into play. Whenever another creature enters the battlefield under your control, you may pay X. It turns into Remnant of the Rising Star. Okay. And whenever you do, you put X +1/+1 counters on that creature. For as long as you control 5 or more modified creatures, Remnant of the Rising Star gets +5/+5 and has trample. Okay, it pairs insanely well with Broker's Ascendancy and just really does some amazing work. Okay, we are jamming Rabble Rousing in here because again, it's a hideaway creature. It's a hideaway thing. Plus, we are going to get some, some creatures out there. We're running, let's see, there's 3, there's 4, there's 8, 11, so 15. We're going to have 15 creatures out there, but, and it's going to, and possibly even 18. So it does make sense in this particular deck. Plus also, too, we're running the Manlands of Cave of the Frost Dragon, Hall of the Storm Giants, Lair of the Hydra. We're also running Spar's Headquarters. We're running the cycle from not a Ganjo, Kamigawa as well. All right, sideboard. We're just a bunch of counter and targeting, okay? And also some control if we need it. Okay, Disdainful Stroke, Negate, Doomscar. You see a guard approach that. Now this one can tap down creatures. Tamio's safekeeping in case we need some life gain and stuff. So all in all, this deck I think really also has quite a bit of synergy in it, and I hope the games go better last night than they did last night. So for those of you that are new to my channel, what we do is we do a best of 1 and then we do a best of 3, so you can see how the deck performs in both environments. And without further ado, let's get to the games. We are against ECC Elso. We go first. This really doesn't do us much, so I'm gonna ship this. This one can help. It's a little slow on the land base, but I think we're gonna be okay. I think we'll do fine on this. Just ship a naturalist and we just go from there. If we draw into another land, great. Oh, hey, ask and you shall receive. Okay, let's throw down the generous visitor. And then we just put this down to Broker's Ascendancy, and we'll see where it goes. Oh, hey, did we catch a break here? Yeah, let's put down the Ascendancy. What else do you have? There's no spot removal for this. Oh, maybe because... do you have Return to Nature? Or some sort of thing. Okay. I don't know what can be flashed out if you're mono green. So it's a pretty big generous visitor for the first turn it comes out, so. That's why. Okay, so we got Zhugan. You know what, we can do this. We can cheat out the, do this. Put that. Okay, boom. We do this. Boom. Boom. Now we got pretty dang big generous visitor here. The old growth troll is probably going to... Yeah, he'll block. Okay. So that goes... enchants. But even still, now we have some pretty big creatures here. There's some pretty big creatures here. So... In fact, the generous visitor is incredibly big at this point. Not impossibly big, but incredibly big. Jewel Thief. Interesting. Okay. That's a fun card. It's a little bit of ramp. I hear it's a really good value card, so I'm not going to question anything here. Alright. We do another Broker's Ascendancy. Boom, boom. Now, they probably have a rune of inscription or something like that. Or an inscription of, whatever the green inscription card is. Whatever the fight card is. Here's what we're going to do. We do Spara's headquarters. Not going to cycle that, but instead, we are going to do this. Let's do that. Boom, boom, and boom, boom. Ow. Alright, whatever. Let's do this. Let's do that. Let's do that and see what they do. So we gain some life here as well. If ECC also will be so kind as to figure out what it is they are doing. Yeah. Okay, and we're just gonna play this. Alright. Well, we are against Stonio for our best of 3 matchup. Let's see how we do with this. I think we keep, because we can do some fun stuff with this. Into a Kami of Transients, and then maybe a Brokers, and then we'll see what happens. I think we're going to get thwacked. We have some fun stuff. This looks like a control build. The next question is do we go with... Yeah, let's go with Brokers. Okay. Oh, is this Sultai something? Maybe. We will see. What in the world? Okay. Okay, well, that's an interesting one. So we're going to do Rune of Flight. We'll draw a card. And we'll do Rune of Might. And we'll draw a card. Jeez. Alright, just swinging for that much. Okay, well, I think even... Ooh. I'm guessing the binding is going to be next. Yep. How did I know? How did I know it was going to be binding the old gods? How did I know? All good. Because now what happens, though, is we get the Kami back. And we get a Rune of... nuts. No, we don't. We don't get a Kami back at all. Instead, what we do is we get this. Put that in there. Oh, the cool thing, though, too, is we can put the flight on that. And, oh, okay. Is this one of those... We ran into this last night. We ran into this last night where we... Yeah, it's another one of those, it's another one of those, whatchamacallit, like, all-color builds. Yeah, it's another one of those, like, all-color builds, where, like, you just get absolutely smacked, and... No blocks. Alright, well. Okay, well, Rune of Sustenance comes in. I'm gonna draw a card. Okay, cool. Rune of Flight's gonna come in. Draw a card. Okay, and we'll put this down. And we'll gain a little bit of life. And we'll see where things happen. Yeah, we ran into this build last night with the, whatchamacallit? Yeah, we ran into this build last night that was really, really, really kind of fun. Not to play against, but really fun to watch, you know? Because you're like, how can such a build go so well? Now, do they have a okay, maybe. They may have a farewell here. Kami War, yep. Okay. Yeah, so this... How did they... Oh, yeah, that's how they did that. Okay. So, yeah, we ran into this build last night where we had... yeah, we're going to take action. Just do one. And then we do Rune of Might. So we can gain some life. Or not gain some life, I'm sorry. Yeah, we ran into this last night where, he just came at us with these weird, like, not weird, but it's like an all-color... And get rid of the fight rigging. And then these weird all-color builds. And, it was very intriguing, to say the least. And this deck has been a, I gotta say, this deck has been kind of a, full disclosure. I am, yeah, we're gonna block this. I think we're gonna get smacked here. Yep, there it is. Alright, well, I think we're gonna need to substitute some, okay, well, that's not gonna do me much good. We're gonna do this, and we'll do some fight rigging. Yeah, let's go with rabble rousing, I guess. Yeah, we're gonna move on to game 2. But we've ran into this deck before. We ran into this deck last night with our Angels build. So what we're gonna do, instead of Rune of Flight, we're gonna put in negate. And I think instead of the rabble-rousing, we're going to put in disdainful stroke, just so we can have a little bit of control over this. Because if they're throwing down all these enchantments and stuff, we need that counter magic there. So that's the flexibility. That's why I think this deck works really, really well with in a best of 3 matchup versus, say, a best of 1. But I gotta say, this deck, again, it's been a whatchamacallit, it's been a it's been a fun deck to work with because, you know, so full disclosure, again, I may have mentioned this before, but I actually shot the best of 1 last Tuesday, and then we kept losing game after game after game in the best of 3. Until it finally, I was just finally like, you know what, I can't do this. This is not good for my health. I'm going to mull that simply because of the fact that we're going to put that away for now. I'll put this down. We've got a pretty good thing here, so we're going to do the farmland first, and then we go into Bosiju. Put a Jukai, and then hopefully we'll get a Rune Forge and then a Rune of Might down, and we'll go from there. But yeah, the all color deck, we played against that last night in the Angels build, and I was very surprised as to how well it worked. So we may have to look at that again, because that is definitely a fun build. We're going to search our library, and we're going to go with Rune of Sustenance. And, you know what? We're going to do this instead. We're going to do that. Draw a card. And we're going to do this. Draw a card. Cool. So we'll gain some life, and in this way, we don't have enough for the well, we can put the ascendancy down, I guess, but we're gonna see kind of where things go. Okay, I think what we do is this: we just do this, and we swing in, gain a little bit of life, hopefully, yeah. Okay, so we gained some life, and I'm guessing, okay, well, do they have anything meat hooky? Okay, well, interesting. No, I don't want to cycle that. Okay, Generous Visitor. The fact that they held up something there really made me a little nervous. Are they going to count? No, they don't counter it. They got something up their sleeve here. They definitely have something up their sleeve. Or maybe not. Maybe we just... No, we're going to get... There's no way we survive the next turn. They've got some sort of mass removal here. They've got to. They've got to. They've got to have a Doomscar or something like that. They're thinking about it. Yeah, they've got to have something, like a burn down the house or something. Kami War, okay. So I think we're okay. I think we're going to survive to game 3. And we're going to go from there. Alright, well, here we go. So Stonio made some adjustments. The adjustments didn't work. And, or at least for them, at least. And we're going to see. Who's online? Who just came on? Ah, cool stuff. Alright, so again, you know, we are plowing through with our Bant Runes deck. And, yeah. Man, I don't know where people are from, but I'm going to tell you, here in New England, Saturday and Sunday this weekend are going to be like almost 100 degrees. And it's not even summer yet. I'm a little concerned about Saturday. I got 2 soccer games. Got my son's game in the morning and my daughter's game in the afternoon, so I'm a little bit concerned for their health, so to say. More or less my daughter than my son, because she'll be playing later in the afternoon when it's going to be really hot. But alright, back to this. Let's see what we got. Stonio, this is our rubber match, and I think we are going to keep this video. We're going to mulligan this one because there's nothing for us there. Not much for us here either, but this one's a little bit better. Here's what we're going to do. I think we ship the island because we can use the Otawara for something. I'm going to put this down and put a Jukai and then maybe a fight rigging. We'll see what happens. Okay. Do they have a duress? They do. Okay. So I'm guessing the brokers goes. Okay. Sure. Let's do it. Yas. Yas. Las. Alright. So, did they switch to kind of a more of a control mode here? Ooh, do we go fight rigging on this? Or do we go Runamite? I think... No, we do brokers. Unless they counter it. They tell me okay, they didn't put a spell pierce in. Which means they've got something with the black mana. Oh, they got a Buseju. Okay, well, we ramp into stuff, so sure, let's do that. Yeah, let's just put down that, and we'll swing, and we will do this, and we draw a card. Okay. Alrighty, so I think next time we go Mistgate into fight rigging. Of course, did Stonio... Valky, you're getting nothing. Yeah, you hate to say it, you're getting nothing there, kid. Sorry. Oops, too bad, so sad. Bye-bye. You know what, we do... Alright, we're gonna do this. We're going to put this down. Down Genus Visitor. Are you gonna use the Valky to stall me? Are you kidding me? Okay, so we're gonna do this. Just build up the Jukai Naturalist. And we see what the fight rigging brings us. Not much. I mean, I guess Kami of Transience is a good one. We'll gain a little bit of life out of this. And by a little, I mean quite a bit. Okay. Alright, we're at 27, they're at 13, and if they don't do anything about the Jukai Naturalist, it's just going to get bigger. So, they are a bit land-starved at the moment. So, that could benefit us. I didn't... Yeah, okay. Good game. Alright, let's go to the postmortem. You want to talk a weight off my shoulders here? You want to talk about that? Oh my gosh, thankfully, I'm finally getting this deck out, and I'm finally making it work. So, I gotta share this story. I gotta reiterate that this idea started last Monday. I recorded the best of one on Tuesday, and we did really well with the best of one. And this was a deck that performed really well in casual. And then we got to the best of threes, and we just kept losing game after game after game. We kept running into like mirror matches, we kept running into control matches, and man, this deck just... I was like ready to proverbially throw this deck against a wall. I was just so upset that it wasn't even working when it had worked so well in playtesting. And finally, we get to... You get to see it. So really, I think this deck, it's quirky. It's got some quirks. Does fight rigging kind of work here? It kind of does. It makes our creatures bigger. There's some different nuances to this deck. It's really fast when it pops, And man, I gotta tell you, I really enjoy this deck. You know, I played it today and I was like, yeah, I'm gonna revisit this, and I'm so glad that I did. So it just goes to show kids, never give up on something, okay? So again, I think that the runes build, certainly the Naya/Cabaretti runes are kind of the big deal right now. We saw that last night in our Angels matchup. But I think that looking at this with the different auras and all these things, I think that this deck can really also be one that makes people's lives a little bit miserable. So I'm really hoping that you enjoyed this video. Again, leave a like, leave a subscribe, and until next time, kids, may all your draws be godlike, may all your spells hit the board. Risen Dragon is out. Enjoy the rest of your night.